Hey guys, welcome back to our episode of nicocast. I'm here with WEIRDFISH. So tell us about yourself.
Hi there. I am WEIRDFISH, aka Jack Scott. I'm specifically YouTube editor for a lot of my career. I've worked with some amazing people that are doing quite well at the moment as well. And everyone that I work with within this space is amazing as well. So it all balances out, really. It's quite a nice experience.
Yeah, it seems really fun to edit for these guys.
Yeah, it's a bit crazy. I mean, how it started was, Will gave me a break, wilbursoot. We went to university together, and he gave me my first couple of gigs, and then through him, he was able to connect me with other people, which was really great. Specifically, I edited for tommyinnit for a while. That was quite fun. It was a really higher paced environment.
I can imagine.
Yeah. He was crazy on the content output as soon as lockdown happened. So it was good to be a part of his team for a while. Aside from that, I think I went with the sidmen and whatnot, but that's mainly UK side. So you may not have heard of them or anything, but they're one of the biggest people in the UK scene.
I watch the sidmen a lot.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I'd done a few of their main channel videos. I believe they're getting Chip Fat and whatnot involved in a lot of their other videos. I don't know if you've heard of him, but
yeah, I have.
Yeah, he's a big guy on the scene at the moment. Yeah. But yeah, you carry on.
Yeah, so I've heard from Chip Fat from like the eboys podcast and stuff like that. But anyways, how long have you been editing?
So I think I started editing around about 13 years old. So somewhere around about that time. I was kind of just doing my own videos for YouTube back when the GUI was completely awful and ugly. But yeah, that was a long time ago. That was back when you had to, well, they've kind of brought the restrictions back in, but that's when you had to get over a certain amount of views to get the partnership things, and I think doing those videos started with Sony Vegas. Can't recommend it. I don't think anyone should be recomming using Sony Vegas. I can't agree with it. I'm an Adobe elitist, I'd say. No. Edit with what you want. I mean, Chip Fat uses Final Cut, so fair enough.
Really?
Yeah. He uses Final Cut and he goes through to After Effects. It's insane. He wouldn't recommend it to other people though. That's what he says.
That's funny.
But through those years, I'd done my YouTube channel for like 4 years or so. That kind of died out because I was just the channel wasn't full of anything interesting, so that went away. And then I started the WEIRDFISH channel around about the time that I started working with Will, and that went on for a while. I kind of came up with a few ideas, didn't really do much with that. I found myself enjoying editing for other people more than my own content, which I think is probably similar for a lot of other people.
That's interesting.
It's easier to adjust to other people's styles than develop your own, I think that's kind of what helped me with moving around a lot in terms of with other YouTubers' styles, because I adapted a lot to their styles quite quickly. And now I'm working with the eboys such as James Marriott, I'm Alex, and George and whatnot. But yeah, it's kind of insane. I haven't been here before, and I've watched these guys for a long time as well. So it's really great to be working with them. I mean, I felt the same when I started working with the sidmen and whatnot.
I can imagine just like editing for people you've been watching like for a while.
It's weird, man.
Yeah,
I used to watch KSI way back when, but yeah, it's pretty crazy, and it was great working with them quite a few times. But the way it's going at the moment, with the COVID and everything, you wanna kind of settle down with people.
Yeah.
So freelance is a bit more difficult at the moment.
So like, how did you learn to edit, and like who introduced you to editing?
I'd say myself personally. That was it. I went through my GCSEs and kind of figured I wanted to do media. That then led me to do college, which not college in America. It's like a next step up.
Yeah.
It's equivalent to something called sixth form. And yeah, I went to college for media production. That was really fun. But what the tutors said there, they tell you to narrow it down, because ideally in this industry, you want to you don't want to pigeonhole yourself to the exact degree, but you do want to specialize in some area.
Yeah.
I mean, there are people that can do it, but it's very few. I mean, like Peter McKinnon kind of level thing, but I decided to go down the route of post-production, because in my teenage head, I thought, oh yeah, I'd like to be sitting at a computer for most of my life.
Yeah. It's very interesting. I interviewed Matt Como. He's like a filmmaker.
Yeah.
And like he also like learned to edit and like film by himself. So that's very interesting.
Yeah. It's a strange route, because even with just YouTube tutorials, like one after the other, as you're kind of going through them, you pick up those skills eventually. And I remember I didn't even know how to use Photoshop in the beginning. And Premiere Pro came later down the line. I was using like Photoshop with Sony Vegas, and it was horrible.
I also recently
go
just
ahead.
learned how to use Photoshop, and like I got Premiere Pro like 2 years ago, and I used to like edit on ScreenFlow and iMovie. So it's like such a big step from like those to like Premiere Pro. But yeah,
I guess it's kind of similar to the Apple ecosystem when you think about it. I mean, when you start using everything Adobe, it kind of meshes together and it feels more comfortable than spreading yourself around. I guess like the Apple ecosystem, but there's a few people that mix it and it seems to work for them. And I mean, in the actual industry, you have to use a program called Avid, and that's an absolute beast to use, and the license costs so much you don't really see too many people actually using it. And that's been used for years by industry professionals. I can't vouch for it personally, because I haven't had the experience with it, nor do I want the experience with it. But I have a feeling it will curb my way at some point. I'll probably want to touch base with it at some point. Yeah. But yeah, that's, I mean, aside from college, I then went into university for editing and post-production to Ravensbourne. That was a really good institution. For contacts mainly, it was a fun time. They kind of gave you the resources to learn. Yeah, but I don't think uni is the right way for a lot of people at the moment, personally.
Yeah, very interesting. So you already mentioned how you met Wilbur, but how did you meet like James Marriott, like in the Sidemen? Like which one of them contacted you, or how did you contact them?
It's kind of an interesting tree. One of the other editors for the Sidemen was putting out for the application to assist on the backlog of content if the main editor couldn't handle it. I made the application from a London Movements video that involved Cal Freezy. So, I kind of worked with the guys before. And then what that led to was Dylan kind of contacted me, asking me to do the Sidemen gig. What was it? The Wilbur to James Marriott. I mean, Will kind of sorted me out with a lot of those contacts. I was really struggling at one point to kind of range my style. I think I was falling a bit flat, but then once I got a few more contacts on the mobile, James Marriott included, and all of those guys helping me out with my career, it's definitely helpful.
Yeah, it was definitely. I feel like it was good for you having like Wilbur like help you with some stuff.
Yeah. I think a lot of people can vouch for him in terms of helping them out with their careers and whatnot. He's a very genuine guy. Can definitely vouch for that. You know, Tommy is a great guy for the short period that I've spoken to him. Yeah, they're all very genuine people, and it's good to see them kind of flashing in the spotlight at the moment.
Yeah, they're definitely like in the spotlight because like Tommy's blowing up, Wilbur's blowing up. It's insane.
Yeah,
it's really good.
It's brilliant. it's a bit mad. You wouldn't believe it, but yeah, it's been great fun working with them and whatnot, and yeah, it's constantly changing, this kind of work. So you're always moving around different people. If you're lucky enough to find one of those positions with people that can last a long time, then that's one of the best kind of situations you can be in, because once you're, instead of bouncing between different styles, I guess you're able to focus on this style and you can try out different techniques, and you're able to kind of get a lot better and solidify a lot more practices, you know.
Yeah. So this is just like out of curiosity. How many videos have you edited for like Wilbur, the Sidmen, like James Myers? If you remember,
mate,
approximately.
I'd have to. With Wilbur, I may have done 20 or so videos. I feel like that. Maybe a bit less.
Okay.
I then kind of moved over with a few others. I think I'd done maybe 6 or 7 with tommyinnit. I think that was at the same time that I was working with Archie MCW. He's the main editor with him at the moment. I think so. Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, it's like Larry, Talent Lacking, and
that's it. Yeah.
Archie.
Yeah. Those guys are insane editors as well.
Yeah.
I gotta give it to him, man. I think I saw Archie's video for Connor Eats Pants, and that was insane. He has really good experience with 3D camera space. So
yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, you can definitely tell he's good just how he edits. But anyways, what are your goals for like YouTube and like editing?
What's my goals? I'd like to probably be in a similar position to my hit Mo Saeed, you know, JJ's editor.
Yeah.
You know, he's got his own kind of company sorted out, and he's getting content from other places. I'd like to somewhat, if I did go out on my own, I would probably go into that kind of area. I know a few people that I want to test out some creative ideas with, so I'm going around those routes at the moment. And you know, with the eboys stuff, I'd like to see if this full-time position really works out, because at the moment making content with those guys is amazing. So if that can last a long time, that would be brilliant, because it's great working with them at the moment.
Yeah, it definitely seems like it's really fun working them, just by like their videos and like the podcast. It seems that like they get along so well, and like the editors too. So
yeah. I'm not too sure who does the podcast editing, actually. I haven't I tried looking for them and I couldn't find it, but they do a great job, especially with the rate that they have to push them out at. But it's good those guys have some content going on the side, and it's really interesting. It's quite fun to listen to. And the whole eBoys main channel content is too fun to edit. As long as it kind of takes me, it's really nice to kind of have a more in-depth style than what I have previously done.
So for the penultimate question, what's like the favorite video you've edited, if you have one?
Oh, what's my favorite video? You know what? I'd have to make it one of my ones with the eboys, because they've just been so fun to edit. There was the I'd say it's the guessing celebrity or imposter video that I done for them. That made me cackle too much during editing. It was one of those videos that I could fully edit, rewatch, make the changes, rewatch it again, and I would still be enjoying it. Yeah, well, that would probably be my most favorite video at the moment.
Very good choice. So now for the last question, do you have any advice for like editors?
Do I have any advice for them? I would personally say don't be afraid to put yourself out there. You know, just take if you're thinking about messaging this person that you watch, just do it. Like, there's no harm in doing that as long as you're covering some space to see who would take you on. I mean, you can prioritize the people that you're watching if that's what you want to do, because the people you've been watching, you'll be able to translate their style much more into yours. Yeah, it's just don't be afraid to take your chances, really, because sadly, with this industry changing so much, the faster you get in, the faster you're going to stay, you know.
Yeah, I definitely agree with the take your chances, because with this podcast, if I like was scared to like email like Max Foss, like Matt Como, I would never find them on my podcast. And like,
exactly.
So it's very like kind of easy and like hard at the same time to reach out to them.
Yeah, exactly. Just always take a shot, because it just ripples off, and you'll get more chances as well down the line by doing it.
Yeah. Anyways, so this is gonna be the end of the podcast. But before we end, where can they find you on social medias?
You can find me at WEIRDFISH, fish without an I. Bit weird, I know. But you can find me by WEIRDFISH on Twitter and Instagram and most other places, as well as YouTube. I also stream live on Twitch. So if you guys want to watch me there, go ahead. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll leave your links down below. So if you're interested in watching some of his content, you can watch him. But anyways, thank you so much for tuning into the nicocast, and I'll see you in the next episode.
See you later. Bye.